Hey everyone, it's Ryan here with a review of my predictions for the Premier League 2021 season standings. I've got them on a notepad on my laptop, so I'm going to go with like my predictions, like going down from 20th to 1st, and then I'll go with the actual result. So at the bottom, I had Aston Villa, and they finished 11th, so quite a bit off. The reason for this was because I still will not let it go. They looked out last season of staying up because of a VAR decision that did not happen, that should have been a goal. That was the point that saved them. And I thought this season they would just crumble even further and they'd be the ones at the bottom. But no, this season's been so back and forth with teams. They finished 11th, and fair play to them. They've done very well. Bertrand Traore has been a great player for them. I think Grealish has been out injured for a while. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Grealish, but I'm not to the point of, you know, how they always hype English footballers on like the media and pundits and all that stuff, where they're like, oh, Jack Grealish is a top world class player. It's like, if he was, why is he playing for Aston Villa, and why is he not getting double digits of goals and assists a season? I sort of have the same problem with Zaha at Crystal Palace. They keep saying he's like this world class player, but he's not. Like, he's good, but he's not super top level. I can play for one of the big six teams. You know, that's why he's at Crystal Palace for several years. Next, 19th, I have Fulham. I was close with this one. They got 18th, so they were still relegated, but yeah, I didn't think they would have had a strong showing. For quite a lot of this season, they didn't, and then just obviously towards the end, it just kept going wrong for them. They did have a big win over Liverpool, though, but Liverpool at that point were losing 6 games in a row, which is why I'm sort of, in a way, surprised by their position. But I'll get to that in a bit. In 18th, I had West Ham. I thought, based on last season, how poorly West Ham were doing, I thought they were going to crumble even further. Beginning of the season, it looked like that, but amazingly, West Ham finished 6th. West Ham have qualified for the Europa League, and going from the team that, people were going on like strikes in the early season, and they were going straight for the owners, and they're saying the club's like crumbled and it's going to go down. And David Moyes is going to send them down. He's done an amazing job with the players. Signing Jesse Lingard on loan in January was a great move as well, because Lingard has proved that give him time on the pitch, and he will show what he's worth. There's a reason why he's been at Man U for several years. Like, I know he hasn't played as many minutes, but there's a reason why he's sort of held in a regard where it's like, yeah, he's a good footballer, but unfortunately he's sort of like, I think, just in the wrong crowd of people. I think going to West Ham has revitalised Lingard's career. I think to the point he got an England call-up as well, so, you know, fair play to him. So yeah, I was way off with that one. 17th, West Brom. West Brom ended up finishing 19th and also going back down. Close with that one. I thought they would have survived, like I said, because I thought West Ham would do so bad that West Brom would survive. Turns out, not so much. In 16th, I put Crystal Palace. They actually finished 14th. So I wasn't too far off. They're 3 points above 16th place. They've had a bit of an on and off season. Roy Hodgson's done fine with them. Obviously, he's leaving at the end of the season. I think he's like retiring from football in general. So I think he's just going to basically enjoy retirement. Not much else to say about Crystal Palace. It was sort of like a standard position for them. 15th, I did put Leeds. Leeds did even better than that. Leeds finished 9th. They finished in the top half of the table, which, you know, it's nice to see a newly promoted team do so well. We saw that with Wolves. We saw that with Sheffield United. And it's nice to see that with Leeds. They have a very good squad there. Bamford's done well for himself. I believe he was the 5th highest scorer this season. And then also it's like Dallas is a great defender. Rafinha's got amazing pace on the wing. You've got Rodrigo with pace up front. You've got Calvin Phillips. You've got trying to think what else. But they have a good handful of players, and I think because they work so well together and they know how to play good football, they've had some very entertaining matches. I remember, I think the first match they had was against Liverpool. I know they lost 4-3, but it was an amazing match to watch. Next, we have Brighton in 14th. They actually finished 16th, so I got Brighton and Crystal Palace the wrong way round, unfortunately. Yeah, Brighton, again, they've had their moments to shine. 16th, at least they survived, but obviously they kind of want to do a bit better than that, but I think some teams above them just had that resurgence at the end. 13th, I put Newcastle. They actually finished 12th, so again, I was only one off. Newcastle, they were like near the relegation zone for quite a bit, but then, yeah, these past couple of months, especially getting Joe Willock on loan from Arsenal, Joe Willock has scored, I think, like 8 goals for them this season. Like originally he was just playing from the bench. Like he was in like some key moments, like the win over Liverpool, or the draw. I think it was either a draw with Liverpool or the win over them. Was like big for them. And yeah, like I said, he's won them a few games as well. 12th, we have Southampton. They finished 15th. They were very unfortunate to have another 9-0 loss this season. This time against Manchester United. There was moments at one point in the season they were top of the table. I think after like 8 games or something. Like Southampton were literally sat at the top of the table. Like that's how good they were doing. And then it just started to go downhill from there. Like I said, they ended up finishing 15th, which is very under what you'd probably expect of Southampton. In 11th, I put Burnley. They actually finished 17th, 11 points off the relegation zone. Yeah, not a strong showing from Burnley this season. To me, they're normally like a mid-table team. And yeah, I think it just, at some point, just started going really, really wrong for them. I think maybe Nick Pope being injured might have been a reason for it, because they had to deal with their substitute goalkeeper instead. And then I think that's when most of the problems came in. In 10th, I put Sheffield United. Yeah, they came 20th. It was sad to see. Like, Dean Henderson going to Manchester United, like returning on loan from Sheffield United to Manchester United, and them signing Aaron Ramsdale, probably not the best decision, considering Ramsdale just got relegated with Bournemouth. I think not the ideal thing is to sign the goalkeeper that was part of the relegation squad. And yeah, they've just not been the same team they were last season. Again, strikers, I think they need new strikers. Rhian Brewster from Liverpool was not the one they should have gone with. He didn't really do anything. They had a bit of a surge at the end of the season, but I think at one point it got that bad. I think they were halfway through the season and they had like 5 points. Like that's literally how bad it was. There was like, it was getting compared to Derby. Like people were thinking they could break that record because nothing's going on for them. But yeah, unfortunately to see Sheffield United go down. And we'll see how they react next season in the Championship. Everton 9th. Again, close. They got 10th. Equal points, but goal difference was the benefactor to put them 10th. They, again, very beginning of the season when Ancelotti signed, well, I say signed, he signed last season, but Ancelotti, and I think he signed James Rodriguez, and I think there's like maybe another player, I think you like Gicore from Watford, I think there's someone else he got, but like that start of the season, the first couple of months, Everton looked like they could, they could be something special, and it just started to crumble from there. Like, they got halfway through the season, they were top 4 for quite a while, and then, yeah, it just started to drop downhill. Their biggest moment was the 2-0 win over Liverpool at Anfield, the first time they've done it since 1999. But yeah, like I said, it was sort of unfortunate to see them drop that low down, considering the strong start they had. 8th, I put Leicester. Leicester did better than that, they finished 5th. Again, they spent a majority of the season in the top 4, so again it was disappointing to see them drop out, especially on the last game of the season. But considering the teams above them and the different budgets they have, Leicester have done very well this season. They've won the FA Cup for the first time in their history, which is an amazing achievement for them. I know, again, Leicester fans are going to be disappointed because Champions League football was there. They had a good Europa League campaign. I think they got to the quarter-final. They got it again, but again, like, you gotta think of the money that Leicester has compared to the rest of them. Like, Chelsea spent £200 million on players, and they just barely got fourth place. Liverpool did amazing considering all their defensive injuries. Like, all teams this season have had major injury issues, but I think Liverpool can feel it hit them the hardest because it was like Van Dijk and then Gomez, and it was like literally just a majority of their defenders. Like, that central defensive position was the bit that was getting hit the most, which is probably why they feel like it was harshest on them. But yeah, Leicester not having Harvey Barnes, not having James Justin, not having Maddison for a while, not having Pereira for a while, really did start to eat away at them. Evans went out injured towards the end of the season, and he was like the key defender for them. Them signing Wesley Fofana, though, was an amazing choice, because Fofana, for the 30 million they signed for, they pretty much voted him the young player of the season for Leicester, because he had like an amazing show. And unfortunately, in the last game against Tottenham, he did go down injured after I think 25 minutes. And yeah, I think not having Fofana, not having Evans, and Sionchu as the three defensive units kind of showed the defensive weakness that Leicester have. They like to try and do wing play and stuff, and like I said, not having the pace of Barnes, that really hurts them. Not having the pace of Pereira hurts them. Not having the creativity of Maddison hurts them. And yeah, like again, I think Leicester fans should realise to be proud of fifth. Like, I know they've won the league once. I know they've had the FA Cup this season. For a team like Leicester to finish fifth is still a big achievement for them. Like, I'm not saying like just accept that you didn't win, like you didn't get Champions League spots considering how long you were in there, but just think of the teams that you're around and what kind of players they've brought in and for what price tag. And the fact that Leicester don't have that price tag and they've managed to finish this high again kind of just shows what a solid team Leicester is. As you can tell, family reasons, Leicester fan, hence why I talk about them a bit more. In 7th place, I put Arsenal. Arsenal actually finished 8th, but only by 1 point. Tottenham winning at the end. Or, like, if Tottenham lost, and... if Tottenham lost, or drew, my prediction would have been right. But Arsenal finished 8th, considering the bad season they were having. At one point, they were 15th for a good month. And to get all the way up to 8th, fair play to Arsenal. I know, unfortunately, they don't have European competition. I think, like, maybe for Arsenal, it could be, like, it was sort of like once Aubameyang signed that new contract, his quality just went down. And I think some players there are starting to get, like, bigger than I think they're bigger than the club. I think they signed Willian. I think he was on the similar Ozil situation where it's like they weren't playing him, but he's being paid a ton of money. Pepe started to prove his worth now. I remember his first season when they bought him 72 million. He didn't really do much, so I'll question that decision. But he's actually done fairly well this season. Having Odegaard on loan from Real Madrid, he's done quite well. Partey was questionable this season. He's had alright moments, but he's had a fair amount of bad moments as well. I think, like, Saka being injured was definitely damaging for him. I feel like Arsenal in a couple of years can get back to where they were. Gabriel was a great signing for him. David Luiz, questionable. I think David Luiz is leaving at the end of the season, but Gabriel was a good defender for them. Saka, Smith Rowe, Tierney was out injured. Tierney was probably one of their best players this season. I think if they get Willock back from Newcastle, like if they keep him after the loan, they should look to play him more than Lacazette, because Lacazette and Aubameyang have been, unfortunately for their quality, they've been really lackluster in front of goal. And I think someone like Willock, someone like Saka, like Smith Rowe, I feel like you give it 2 or 3 years, Arsenal can be back into top 4, because I feel like the squad they've got developing and just the quality of them can hopefully flourish when they get to 24-25. But again, we shall see what happens. For 6th, I put Wolves. They actually finished 13th. Unfortunately, it was just a really bad season for them. I believe there was a stat where there was so many games or so many minutes since Wolves scored a goal. Like, that's how bad it was. I think one of the biggest reasons for this is Raul Jimenez got a fractured skull, so he had to sit out the rest of the season and recover from that. And you can sort of just see what Raul Jimenez as the main striker does for them, and yeah, they definitely missed him this season. Yeah, I think who they had, Fabio Silva and others, just did not do well for them. Yeah, like I said, it was kind of a shame to see him so low down, especially considering that their managers decided to leave at the end of the season. And yeah, they lost their last match. It wasn't ending on a high note either. Yeah, I did predict Tottenham to be 5th. They ended up 7th. I thought Kane and Son would be great for them. To be fair, a majority of the season they were. Just defensively, they weren't great. Dyer's not that good. Dyer, like the combination of Dyer and Sanchez doesn't work. Alderweireld and Sanchez doesn't really work. I think if they improved defensively, they would have been fine. I think Lloris kept them in a lot of games. Son and Kane. Kane won the Golden Boot, beating Salah by a goal. Kane, I believe, was in double digits for goals and assists this season, which is great for a centre forward. Son did very well for himself. Yeah, like I said, they had their moments, and there's a reason why they finished 7th. Yeah, they've got the last Europa League spot. Manchester United, I put 4th. I thought, like, sort of similar to last season, they would just edge into Champions League spot. Turns out they did much better than that. They finished a very solid 2nd with 74 points, 12 points behind Man City. But still, considering people wanted Ollie out and they thought it was going to crumble and all that stuff, Man U did very well for themselves this season to get 2nd place. I know, like, there's still some people complaining, like, yeah, but you haven't won anything. Like, why are you celebrating 2nd place? It's like, well, look at the Man City squad. You know, it was either going to be Man City or another Liverpool dominant result, and like Man U would be, you know, in Champions League again. But I'm sort of celebrating 2nd because considering what 2 seasons ago they finished 7th, that's quite the improvement for Man U. And Cavani has been the signing of the season for them. You know, like him, like when they signed Van der Beek and he didn't really do anything, it was very questionable. Like, he spent a majority of his time on the bench. Cavani coming in, I was like, yeah, okay, like, if Martial's not doing well, Cavani could be his sub. Him in the domestics and, like, the Premier League has been phenomenal for Man United. And, like, when he signed a New Year deal, I was so happy because Cavani has been great. People thought him coming from PSG, coming to the Premier League, he wouldn't do too well. And he's actually done quite well for himself. And yeah, they've got a Europa League final next Saturday, I believe, or Sunday. So there's potential for a trophy. I know they did go out of the semi-final of I think both the Carabao and the FA Cup. But yeah, like I said, you know, great result for Man U. Chelsea 3rd. They actually finished 4th. They could have finished 3rd if they didn't lose the game. But yeah, they signed, like, this was at the time when I saw they signed Werner and Havertz, and, you know, they did that, like, the price tags on those players, you're thinking, okay, they've got to be a big deal. Werner has been the worst signing of the season, especially for the price tag that he was. He's had more disallowed goals for being offside than actual allowed goals, and, yeah, like, I know he got a couple of goals and stuff, but he's just really, for a central striker and what they expect of him, he's been atrocious this season. Havertz had a very slow start, but he started getting into it. They signed Mendy in goal, and he was a great improvement at first. He did have a couple of slip-ups every now and then, but he's been a very solid goalkeeper for them. Chilwell's been a decent signing for them at left-back. Again, you got the whole praising of Mount because he's a young English player, sort of like Foden at Man City. He's been fine this season from what I've seen. He's had like a couple of goals every now and then, but I won't put it on the world-class levels, super elite that pundits and all that stuff make. It's one of the things that bugs me about them nowadays is they go on so much about how these young English players are going to be the next generation of a lot. It's like, some of them don't even last 2 years. Like, Mount's been at Chelsea for 2 years. He was in the Championship with Derby like 2 seasons ago. Foden's been at Man City since whenever, but he's only started playing regularly this season. You've not given him, give him 2 or 3 years, and then say that they're the super elite, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. Like, you can say that about Kane, because Kane's been doing 20 plus goals for about 5 seasons now. You know, but it's one, like, they started doing it with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like, he's going to be the super elite. He's going to be one of the people that gets England a World Cup and all this stuff. And then he started having like a really lackluster season this season. Like he got dropped from the England squad because of how bad he was doing. So, you know, you gotta wait. You gotta give them like 3 or 4 years before you say, oh yeah, they're actually really good, because they've been doing this consistently. Because you can say that about some people being these wonder kids and then never hear from them again in 2 years. Yeah, like I said, like we'll see what happens with that one. Second, Liverpool, they actually finished third. Like, again, considering the disaster they had the season with Van Dijk seasoning the injury, Gomez being injured, I believe Henderson got injured at a point, Fabinho got injured. Like, every time they put someone in defence, they just get injured. Yeah, like, considering all that, Jota, for them, like, them getting him from Wolves, he was a great signing. I questioned it a bit. I was like, really? It's like he's going to be competing with Sadio Mane, so it's like, is he really going to play? Like, is he just going to be another Shaqiri? He's actually done very well for them. Like, he's scored a good amount of goals for them. And yeah, like I said, to go from where they were and how bad they were doing. Also, like, at one point losing 7-2 to Aston Villa. Man U, the day before, had lost 6-1 to United, so that's when I was sort of like, okay, maybe they won't do as well. Yeah, like, that's just the type of season it's been, where, like, these teams are, like, they've been beat by quite a bit. Like, you know, Chelsea lost 5-2 to West Brom. Man City lost 5-2 to Leicester. Yeah, it's just one of those, like, crazy things where it's like these really big results. I was kind of hoping it would go, like, all season, because this was, like, early season, like, first, like, 3 months. I was like, I really hope the rest of the season is like this, where everyone just keeps scoring goals. But unfortunately, like, towards the end, it started to settle down a bit. Yeah, like I said, considering the injuries they had and everything, they did very well. Alisson had, like, a very rough patch for a couple of months, but he's managed to recover from there. And yeah, like I said, oh yeah, at one point as well, Alisson actually scored a goal from a header to win a game. That was actually quite amazing to see. Yeah, like I said, third place, you know, great for Liverpool considering the season they've had. At one point, they were being labelled the worst champions because of how far down they were and how many points of a deficit compared to the winning season. I think they were only like 30 points off last time. They're only 30 points off this season because they won with 99. They only got 69 this season. And they haven't won any trophies this season, so I can sort of see why people are saying they were bad champions. I think if they finished on less than 65 points and failed to qualify for the Champions League, I would agree and say they were bad champions. But considering this season, like the fact that it's all been like pandemic, no crowds and stuff, I'm fine with just saying that they're not bad champions, because, again, I feel like sort of with Leicester and with Liverpool, it's, for them, their fan base really motivates them in their matches. Like, there's a reason why Liverpool were unbeaten at Anfield for almost 3 years when fans were in, and then since then, this season, they lost 6 times at Anfield in a row. But yeah, like I said, you know, fair play for them to get in third place considering, you know, all their injuries and stuff. And then finally, first place, Man City. I basically said they were out for revenge because they lost the title last season, and normally Man City come back and win it, and they did. They had a very slow season. At one point, Man City and Man U were 15th and 14th. But yeah, like I said, Man City since then just went on a very dominant run, got themselves back to the top of the table, and pretty much stayed there for a while. I think they won the season with like 4 games left. So yeah, like I said, like fair play to them. They've done very well. I believe, like, what people might say, Ruben Diaz was the signing of the season. I believe they started saying that, like, a couple of weeks ago. He did have a couple of mishaps in the last 2 games, especially against Brighton and against whoever they just played, Everton. But like I said, I think he managed to recover for it. I think Diaz gave away a penalty against Everton, which Ederson saved. Ederson, I think for the 2nd year in a row, got the Golden Glove. So he's been very good in goal for them. I sometimes question Edison because he's one of those like rush keepers, and sometimes he gets himself sent off for in trouble. But he's done very well this season. So yeah, I think I only got 2 right. I got, what did I get 2 right? I didn't think I did. No, I just got ones the other way around, didn't I? I think the only one I got right was Man City. Yeah, like most of them I was like a place off, or 2. Crystal Palace and Brighton I got the wrong way round. Newcastle I was 1 place off. Who else we got? Everton I was 1 place off. Arsenal I was 1 place off. Tottenham I was 2 places off of that one. Man U, Chelsea, Liverpool, I did say they'd be in top 4, but I just got the positions wrong, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much my review of my predictions. Again, not great. The only ones I got were the champions, so I guess that's 1. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.